Welcome back. So the first thing that I need to talk to you about is the work we did with the DSMA last week. And I got feedback from people saying that they hadn't a clue that that is what had been happening in our media. And I think the general sense that I got is that there's a feeling of impotence. Like we can't, it's like, if this is how things are, if this is how we're governed, then we're constantly having the wool pulled over our eyes and being blinkered to look at things that they want us to look at. And it just makes you think, well, that's a really impotent feeling. It's like I don't feel like I can make any difference. You know, what's the point? And I really feel that statement from people. So I feel like it's beholden upon me to give you a little bit of light on the subject and show you exactly what it is that you can do, so that you don't have that sensation of impotence. I'm not able to actually make a difference. So today we're going to look at a couple of ways that you can make a difference. And I found them, I use them, and I'm going to introduce you to two gentlemen, both of them extraordinary in their own right. And basically the things that they've got going on and they've put in place to help you not feel quite so impotent. So we'll go into the research that I've been doing about how you can elevate your energy away from a sense of doom. And it's all contrived, and we don't have any way of sorting it out or doing anything to make it any different. Well, there's an interesting guy that I've come across on YouTube and on Twitch, and I would say he's an investigative journalist. So this is him. Oh, we've got the wrong view on. There we are. That's better. This is him. It's Ian Carroll. I've mentioned him before. He's a fascinating person to watch. So I suggest subscribing to him, because he's really very good. And his kind of ethos is, well, it says there, follow the money, seek the truth. So his backstory on this, I will let him speak to you because he's got a great way of like chatting to you, and this will make you want to follow him. So I'm going to just share a couple of clips of what he's been up to. But when he says follow the money, seek the truth, the follow the money bit is everything in our world. So it doesn't matter the fact that he's American, but everything in our world is controlled by a very small minority of people. And from his perspective, that meant they control everything. They control the food, they control. So that's the kind of rabbit hole that he went under. And I'm going to show you what he has to say. Let's unmute him.
Dude, this stuff used to take me so long. I used to come in here and take photos and do all this research, and now I just pick it off the shelf, flip it around, find the barcode. Finding the barcode is the most time-consuming part of figuring out who owns something. Happy Baby, private equity. Happy Baby founded in 2006, then they sold out.
Can you just like bear in mind that before he started this app that I'm going to introduce you to, he went into a supermarket and he took pictures and ingredients lists of, he just did it aisle by aisle by aisle. If you follow him, you'll see the work that he's done. And he started off on, I can't remember, I think it might have been TikTok. But yeah, he got quite a big following on that. But that's when he was posting his videos about looking at food and looking at who owns the majority of everything. And that this is how he's come to this app.
We're going to get back to all this in just a second. Lawsuits. Toxic heavy metals. Shit. Beech nut. Do you think it's good? Who do you think owns it? Scanning product. We'll research it. We'll do the research. We'll come right back. That takes maybe like 30 to 40 seconds for the research to all compile, get database organized. We'll come right back. Gerber. This is the first night that we've used the app. It's brand new. Whole database is fresh. We've got the secret sauce is ready. Hit the research button. I'll come back to Gerber too.
This is baby.
Hint, Gerber is not good. All right, maybe in the fridge. What do we got in the fridge? Once Upon a Farm? Yeah, owned by Once Upon a Farm, founder owned. They've got a crazy story. See, I used to make these videos on TikTok, and I remember all these guys. I remember these baby food companies, and a bunch of them are pretty fucking scummy, but not Once Upon a Farm. Baby food is one of these industries where there's all kinds of toxic heavy metals in baby foods. Babies are hypersensitive to being poisoned, obviously. So it really matters what you're feeding your baby. And back when I dug through the baby food aisle, that was when I uncovered some of the most gnarly shit that I think a lot of us were very surprised by. And then I went and dug and found all sorts of sources, reports, scientific studies about all the toxic heavy metals in these things. Here I'm trying to like hunt down these barcodes, see if Buyer app can fucking handle these barcodes. Boom, no problem. Buyer app snipe that barcode. No big deal. Uh-oh, gotta enter some information. Make sure you get the brand right. Type it in careful. Figure out, actually, I want to capitalize that S. The details matter. The details matter, bro. We're trying to make the best database on the planet. Hit that research button. Oh, wait, confirm. Hit that research button. We'll come back. All right, we'll go back to our recent scans. We'll check in on all this research we've been doing. We got all of our recent scans. Yeah, you just got a preview. I was down in the cat food aisle. I'm going to kind of speed through some of these. Hero Group sounds like private equity. It's an OG 1891 brand that then got sold. All right, ownership and corporate structure. They've been with Hero Group since 2005. Not a good sign. Controversies. Their rap sheet is heavy. Recalls for arsenic-laced rice cereal, lawsuits from parents claiming heavy metals in jars. Shit. Who's next? Gerber. Yeah, Gerber's owned by Nestle. You know all about Nestle. We don't even need to get into Nestle. Fuck that. We're out of there. Cerelac, owned by Nestle. Outshine was owned by Nestle. See, it takes like 40 seconds. The research is done. We're all up in here. Yummy. Ooh, founder owned. Started as a scrappy subscription service, delivering fresh baby food straight to your door. Proudly founder owned, which means decisions are made by the same folks who.
Cool. So that's the first one. We'll find his other ones. He's got one more.
Built the brand. That's what's up. I bet they care about your baby. Pediasure, Abbott Laboratories, fucking big pharma. Yeah, do I really need to tell you about Abbott Laboratories and big pharma? I don't think so. Publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange. So BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street making this baby food for you. Now for the fun part. Pediasure has been no stranger to lawsuits and settlements. Happy Baby, owned by Nurture Inc. Founded in 2006 by Shazzy, but then they sold out. Can we find any like more family and founder owned? HEB's got a good selection. And I remember the baby food aisle. So let's peep Serenity. Serenity, I remember, was some dank baby food. They're unfortunately a little more expensive. We'll hit the research button. We'll come right back. And once the research is done, it's done. It's in the database. So I'm just like building it out like crazy right now, but you can jump in and join me. Right now I'm getting Cerebelly. Cerebelly is like, that's a badge. I'm the one that scanned Cerebelly first, baby. I got Cerebelly on my badge. Hit the research button. We'll come back to that. Ooh, Earth's Best. It's hiding up there by the organics, making it look like it's good. I remember Earth's Best. If you're an OG, you might remember Earth's Best too. Owned by Hain Celestial Group. Yeah, they're all up in the baby foods litigation, heavy metals, all that. All right, let's load those up. Let's see what we got with those good ones that I knew were good. Serenity, owned by Serenity Kids. Legit, it's like a mom and a dad. Serenity Hegel and Joe Carr. Power couple who decided that babies are better than bland, sugary mush. Proudly founder owned. That's what's up. I guarantee you they care more about your baby than these mega corporations. They stand out not just for what they do, but for what they don't. No recalls, no lawsuits, no scandals. What's up? Hell yeah. Where's that Cerebelly? Dude, you gotta know about Cerebelly. Not your average baby food formula. Brain food in a pouch, founded by Dr. Teresa Persner, who also happens to be a neurosurgeon and developmental neurobiologist. And she loaded this shit up. Crazy story. Founder owned, mom owned, female owned. You can read all about it right here. And there's no mega corporation to look into because she owns that. Boom. No recalls, none of that shit. No drama. Support founder-owned businesses, especially when you're feeding it to your baby. I don't know if any of you guys are OGs that remember back when I used to still post on TikTok, but this research used to take me a whole day. Like I did a whole day of baby food where I went and took photos. I came home, I looked up every single brand. I like got into all the different pieces and I found this crazy report. This report right here, look at these brands. Beech Nut, Gerber, Plum, Parents' Choice, Sprout Organic. Actually, that wasn't the only one. They released another with even more. Earth's Best, Happy Baby. Right here on the second page, third page. Including results up to 91 times the arsenic levels, up to 177 times the allowable level of lead, up to 69 times the allowable level of cadmium. And that's because they're mega corporations and built the brand. That's what's up. I bet they care about your baby.
So that's why Ian Carroll is so passionate about you knowing where your food and whatever you're buying comes from. And on his Buyer app website, it's actually on X. I'm sure it will be on the Buyer app website as well. Meet BlackRock, the 10 trillion monster that owns your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This is a global problem. Nobody's talking about. Ready for the numbers that will make you never look at a grocery store the same way. BlackRock and their frenemy Vanguard are top shareholders in PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, Nestle, General Mills, Kellogg's, Kraft Heinz, Mondelez, Unilever, Tyson Foods. But wait, there's more. These same companies also own major stakes in restaurant chains. So that's Cheesecake Factory, Texas Roadhouse, Wingstop, food distributors, agricultural companies, grocery stores, food packaging companies. So everything that has to do with what you ingest. See the pattern? They own the farms, the food processors, the brands, the distributors, and the stores. It's vertical integration on steroids, except it's all hidden behind the veil of passive investing. So what happens when private equity buys your favorite brand? Oh, honey, nothing good. Here's the playbook. Year 1, the honeymoon phase. Nothing will change, they promise. Maybe some new packaging. A few executives might mysteriously get fired. Year 2, the cutting begins. So operational efficiencies, mass layoffs. Supply chain optimization, cheaper ingredients. SKU rationalization, killing products that aren't super profitable. Quality starts dropping faster than my faith in capitalism. Year 3, the squeeze. Zero-based budgeting. Every expense must be justified from zero. Sell off the real estate, lease it back. Load up more debt, cut marketing, R&D, everything that isn't immediate profit. Your favorite product now tastes like cardboard. What happens when private equity buys your favorite brand? Exit the flip. Sell to another private equity firm or IPO it and dump it onto retail investors, or watch it go bankrupt. And it says, rest in peace, Toys R Us. Want real examples? Hostess Twinkies went bankrupt under private equity. Friendly's ice cream destroyed by private equity. Payless shoes killed by private equity. Local newspapers across America murdered by private equity. All right, folks, sit down, pour yourself a drink, check who owns the brand first, because I'm going to blow your mind harder than finding out your your craft beer is actually owned by Anheuser-Busch. Let me introduce you to BlackRock, the company that manages 10 trillion in assets. That's trillion with a T, There's more money than the GDP of every country on Earth except America and China. Oh, you've never heard of them? That's exactly how they like it. Secret sauce, how they control everything without owning it. Here's where it gets spicy. BlackRock doesn't technically own these companies. They manage money for other people through mutual funds, EFTs, and pension funds. But here's the kicker. They get to vote the shares. So while your 401k might own a tiny piece of PepsiCo, BlackRock votes on behalf of those shares. Multiply that by trillions of dollars, and suddenly Larry Fink has more power over corporate America than most CEOs. Their secret weapon, a supercomputer called Aladdin, that manages 21.6 trillion in assets. Yes, they named their world-controlling AI after a Disney character. The jokes write themselves. This thing executes 250,000 trades per day and basically runs half the financial world. What is private equity? Now, let's talk about private equity, because BlackRock isn't the only vampire in the blood bank. Private equity is like Gordon Gekko and the Monopoly Man had a baby, and that baby went to Harvard Business School. I love the way they write. Here's how it works. Rich people give their money to a private equity firm. The firm borrows a shit ton more money. They buy a company using mostly that borrowed money. They make the company they just bought responsible for paying back the debt. They cut costs, fire people, and squeeze every penny of the profit. They sell the hollowed out corpse of the company for a profit. It's like buying your neighbour's house with their own credit card and then making them pay it off while you collect rent. Perfectly legal, absolutely psychotic. I think I'd agree with that. How buyer helps you fight back? You can make a difference. This is exactly how we built Buyer, because you deserve to know that your choice between Coke and Pepsi is really a choice between BlackRock and BlackRock. Every barcode tells a story, and most of these stories end with, and then BlackRock bought a stake in it. With Buyer, you can scan any product and see who really owns it. Find truly independent brands that haven't been vacuumed up by the financial overlords. Make informed choices about where your money goes. Support actual competition instead of the illusion of choice. Because here's the truth, every purchase is a vote. And if you don't know who you're voting for, you're probably voting for BlackRock. Why this matters more than your expired yogurt. When 3 companies control most of corporate America, now I would argue this is global, so it doesn't just cover America, competition becomes theatre. PepsiCo and Coca-Cola aren't really competing when the same people own both. They just pretend to fight while coordinating price increases. It's like professional wrestling, except instead of folding chairs, they're hitting us with inflation while posting record profits. I think we've all heard that globally. And because these mega investors own everything, they have zero incentive to have companies truly compete. Why have a price war between brands you own when you can just not? The 3-headed monster, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. Here's the part that should be illegal but isn't. BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street combined control $20 trillion. That's more than half the value of all S&P 500 companies combined. Best part, they own each other. BlackRock owns shares of Vanguard funds. Vanguard owns shares of BlackRock. And it's a circle jerk of cosmic proportions, and we're all getting screwed. Together, they're the largest stakeholders in 88% of S&P 500 companies. They're competing with each other by owning the same companies and voting the same way on shareholder proposals. Makes perfect sense if you don't think about it. Why should you care? Picture this: you wake up, brush your teeth with Colgate, BlackRock owned, 7.6%. Pour some Kellogg's cereal, BlackRock owned, 88%. And some Nestle coffee creamer, BlackRock owned, 5%. And check your iPhone. BlackRock is a major Apple shareholder. For the news. Congratulations, you just funded BlackRock 5 times before 8 o'clock. BlackRock isn't just some random investment company. They're what's called an asset manager, which is corporate speak for we control ungodly amounts of other people's money and use it to buy pieces of everything. Funded in 1988 by Larry Fink, who still runs it like his personal empire, BlackRock has quietly become what Bloomberg literally calls the fourth branch of government. Yeah, you read that right. Bloomberg said, not some conspiracy blog. Bloomberg. Sources, and he lists all of the sources. So when Ian Carroll began doing his work, that was what it was about. It was about seeing who owns everything, because when you operate like they do, it does feel like we're completely controlled unless we do something about it. And I'm arguing that this man is presenting you with the opportunity to make a difference, one individual at a time. I downloaded the app. I've been using the app, and one of the beta testers for the app, because the app's only just dropped on the market, I would advise getting it. One of the beta testers was in the UK. So I think Ian says it was the biggest beta tester they had. It was in the UK. So you can use it in the UK. I've used it while I've been shopping, and it's been quite an eye-opener. So I'm making a difference by changing just the things I buy. And that's the Buyer app. It's BUY''R. So when you go into your stream to download it, that's what you look for. Search with the ''R and you will find it, and you'll be able to download it and use it every day. So that's Ian Carroll. Okay, let's see. We've done the BlackRock bit. So that was Ian Carroll. Now I want to introduce you to this gentleman. His name's Ahmed Bash. And he's just brought out an app of his own. Now, he was born in Palestine, in Gaza. He now lives in Hungary, in Budapest. And he's a computer science engineer. And he's got quite a harrowing story, as I'm sure a lot of people from that area have. Okay. Yeah, we've got sound on. So this is the one I want to share with you. This is the man himself.
The whole idea for my app, it is just like to prevent what happened to me to happen to another Palestinian, to lose his brother, to his family, to lose his house.
No Thanks app lets you scan the barcode of any product you're looking to buy, and it will tell you if the company that sells it supports Israel.
In the 31st of November, when I lost my brother, then I was like, okay, I think now it is the time for me to make something for my country, as I am in abroad and I'm not in my country, and I lost my brother there, and before it I lost my sister too. So I was like, okay, I think it is time now to do this and make it in their behalf, like a charity work for them. Even it is like a very small thing, but still count.
Pakai aplikasi No Thanks untuk cek produk mana
No
yang
thanks.
This boycott movement, we are not doing it as an anti-Semitic, as most of the people saying. It's not anti-Semitic or related to this. We are just want a peace in my country. I don't want to lose another brother for me. I don't want to lose my sister there. We don't like to share our part with this genocide. That's the whole point of our side of boycott, to like not to be a part of this genocide.
So that was the man himself, Ahmed Bash. So his backstory is quite harrowing, as you can tell. But what a fascinating man. And what he's come up with is something that I feel, alongside Ian Carroll's, not as a substitute for, alongside. So there's another one for you to download. I really feel that his ethos is there, and I've already downloaded the app, and it's really good. But these are the kind of things that his app is finding out. Listen to this.
Why Ben and Jerry's co-founder just quit. Jerry Greenfield and Ben Cohen launched Ben and Jerry's in 1978. In 2000, they sold the company to Unilever, but kept an independent board to continue supporting social causes. Things took a frosty turn in 2021 when Ben and Jerry's announced they would stop selling ice cream in the occupied Palestinian territories. Unilever pushed back. By March 2024, it spun off all its ice cream brands, including Ben & Jerry's, into a new company called the Magnum Ice Cream Company. The CEO, Peter Ter-Kulve, rejected any chance of Ben & Jerry's regaining independence, sparking backlash and legal battles. And in May, Ben Cohen himself was removed from a Senate hearing for protesting U.S. support of Israel's actions in Gaza. The story of Ben & Jerry's shows us one thing. Even iconic brands that stand for justice can be silenced when profits come first.
It was always about more than just ice cream. It was a way to spread love and invite others into the fight for equity, justice, and a better world.
Install our app today and say no thanks to your money becoming blood money. Why Ben and
Very reminiscent of Ian Carroll's ethos. Look at who owns and take your decision from there.
You've probably seen this logo or tried these brands. You might not know that these are Unilever brands, but what you should know is that Unilever is destroying the world. Their Ben & Jerry's ice cream, forbidden from protesting Israel's genocide in Palestine. Their Persil detergent, made with palm oil through child labor and deforestation. Their Knorr, Sunlight, and Dove plastic sachets, clogging rivers around the world in the hundreds of billions. Unilever profits from genocide, child labor, and the destruction of the planet. Save your money. Say no thanks to Unilever brands. You've probably seen this.
Like I say, very along the Ian Carroll ethos line. But I want to show you more, because you making a choice to download these apps will give you power of where you put your money. Every penny that you give over in transaction for anything, you should know where that is going. And I say penny, and I mean penny. I mean, in the UK, we used to have halfpennies, half p, but we don't have those anymore. But every penny that you hand over in transaction, you should know where that's going, because you have to know what it's funding.
No Thanks is an app that exposes brands that contribute to the Israeli occupation in Palestine. Teva Pharmaceutical is one of them. Did you know that Teva is one of the largest generic pharmaceutical companies in the world? Every year, Teva generates millions of dollars for the Israeli regime, which maintains a military occupation and an apartheid system over the Palestinian people. The company benefits from this reality, enjoying economic advantages, dominating the local market, and selling medicines to Palestinians at higher prices than elsewhere. It has also been documented that Teva has made donations and provided medical supplies to the Israeli army, the same forces responsible for destroying hospitals and the healthcare system in Gaza. Supporting Teva isn't just about buying cheap medicine, it's about indirectly funding occupation and the suffering of an entire people. So next time you go to your local pharmacy for your medicine, take a moment to learn where those products come from. With No Thanks, we help you find alternatives, like Hikma Pharmaceutical, Sedeco, or Sun Pharmaceutical, with no ties to the apartheid state nor evidence of human rights violations. When we change our habits, we can change the world. Install our app today and say no thanks to your money becoming blood money.
How cool is that? Just a couple more. I found this really quite hard hitting. Brace yourself.
Did you know the word boycott was born in Ireland back in 1880? Charles Boycott, an English landlord, refused to lower rents while farmers were starving. The Irish National Land League gave farmers the right to completely avoid him. No contracts, no business. The protest took the form of total isolation, social and economical. Shops stopped selling to him, the railroads refused to move his cattle, and his crops rotted in the fields with no one to harvest them. The movement grew so strong that Boycott had to flee Ireland. And that's when the Times first used the word boycotting. Boycotts work. When we vote with our wallet, companies like McDonald's, complicit in Israel's crimes in Gaza, see their profits collapse. When we change our habits, we can change the world. Install our app today and say no thanks to your money becoming blood money.
Just a small amount of movement from everyday people. When it happens, and it happens more and more and more frequently, then bottom line profits get affected. And that's when the general public will be listened to. We have so much more power than we give ourselves credit for. If I choose to stop giving my money to organisations like BlackRock and to corporations that support genocide, then I can make a difference, and that makes me feel better about my contribution. It's not something massive. It's just me choosing to know where my money's going, and you can make the same choice. And I feel it gives us more strength that we can make a difference individually. It gives us strength and knows that it makes us know we have options. The biggest thing from last week, the DSMA, is like we're not even given the options. When it comes to our mainstream media, we're not being given an option of what we would like to see or what we would like to know or what we should know. We're not given that option. It's like, no, we don't want the public to see that. We don't want the public to know that. If it doesn't fit the official narrative of the puppeteers, then we don't want you to see it. This is a way, these two apps are a really great way of taking back that power for yourself. Last one, I promise. I like. That's so right. Together, we can afford change. So it was important to me that I gave you a bit of a better feeling when it came to not feeling quite so impotent. And those two apps, one thing I want to tell you about the No Thanks app, when it showed up as buy merchandise and like they showed you donating, when those donations go through the No Thanks app, they end up at a Yes Please organization. So it's got the No Thanks, where you can boycott genocide, and there's the Yes Please, and the donations and everything that come through from the No Thanks goes directly to Yes Please on the ground in Gaza, and they're supplying food. I'm sure it was last month it was bread. They were supplying bread, and now they're looking, because obviously donations have increased and they've got their merch up and running. The Yes Please are looking at putting out hot meals. So you've got double edges to that. Just using the app will be really helpful. And if you choose to subscribe or if you choose to donate, then it goes to an incredibly good cause. So you've got double whammy on that one. So yeah, the Buyer app, BUY', that's through Ian Carroll. And then you've got the No Thanks app, and that's Ahmed Bash. And you can find him, well, you can find them both on Apple and Play. So it doesn't matter if you've got an Apple iPhone thing. You can get them on both. But yeah, support them, follow them, and download those apps. Start using them. I think you'll be as surprised as I was at how very much everything that you tend to pick up is oh no. It's a very much more conscious way of shopping than I've ever shopped before. I used to, this is a great thing about Ian's app, the Buyer app. I used to pick up and look at the ingredients of something and go through the ingredients and see if there's any nasties in it, like palm oil, like not supporting the palm oil industry. And it would take me a while. But with that app, I can just, the Buyer app especially, you can just scan the code and you can see all the ingredients that are in it. And if you scan something that isn't in their database, you just give them the name, the company name, and the a picture of the ingredients on it, and they'll upload it to the app. So the more people that buy food and use the app, the more updated it will become, because everybody updates in real time. If there's something that you scan, it's not on there, they will ask you to upload it. And I think that's fabulous. So you're contributing on two sides there. So just like the No Thanks and Yes Please, you're contributing by submitting items that you find that they haven't documented. And then when they do the research and they work out who it is, you'll know. So it's a double help on that one as well. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited for the whole thing, for you to try it out.